Fine, let us start. They will join. So I hope my voice, I'm audible to you. Can you just acknowledge me over the chat? What happened? Hi, good evening. So let us start. Uh, is my voice is audible to you, Gaurav?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the acknowledgement. Let us start. So, good evening, and I will welcome you to this Linux administration with AI. So, welcome you all to the Linux plus AI administration training, right? So, first of all, before we get into the subject, before we get into our demo, day one demo, let's do one thing. I will just try to introduce myself here. So coming to about me, like I'm A. Balachandar Kumar, I'm a certified trainer and having 18 plus years of experience in the IT industry as I'm a freelancer, consultant and a software trainer, all right? And coming to the technologies where I'm expert in AWS Cloud Administration, Red Hat Ansible Automation, and I do training on Red Hat Enterprise Linux in two ways. One is job oriented, another one is certification point of view. And apart from this, I also do training on other flavors of Linux like Ubuntu, Oracle Linux, SUSE Linux, Fedora, like this. And I used to train something called Unix flavors like Solaris, AIX, HP Unix long back, but right now the market is not really good for this operating systems. I just stopped it. And apart from this, I also train an enterprise level tool called Veritas Suite, which consists of Veritas Volume Manager and Veritas Cluster. Then apart from this, I also do a lot of job support and the certification assistance. So when I talk about certification assistance, very simple here. Certification assistance is nothing but like if you want to go for RHCSA, RHCE, or you want to go for AWS Cloud, exam or any other exam, we will give you an assistance so that with our assistance you can 100% pass, right? And I have trained many people around the globe in different modes like online, offline, corporate. Even I do a lot of workshops and seminars at colleges like engineering colleges, PG colleges, like post-graduation colleges, universities. I do a lot of workshops as well as seminars also I do. So this is all about myself. Okay. And coming to my company, ITZ Technologies is my company. And I'm running this training institute and consulting from long time, like around 14, 15 years now. I'm running this company from long time. So this is all about myself and my company here, right? And my company is a partner to AWS Cloud. Even we are partner to Veritas also previously, but the company right now, my institute is partner to many companies here. So this is what exactly about myself and my company here. And now let me quickly jump into today's our demo, our agenda is what we are here to discuss about something called Linux administration with AI, plus AI, with AI or plus AI, whatever it is, right? So many times, like when we talk about Linux, you know about the Linux, right? Like how we are using Windows in the same way we have a Linux operating system. There is nothing special in it. But you might have a question here: Linux with AI administration. What is it exactly? So very simple here. Let me give you some information here because many times people are getting confused here. When I just put AI, like people are thinking like I'm going to train something called Chat GPT or Gemini or something else. No. See, first of all, you should know that one thing is Chat GPT, Gemini, or Grok or Perplexity, or there are many AI tools are available. They are all something called third-party AI tools. Getting my point? So, but when it comes to Red Hat, when it comes to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, you should know one thing. When it comes to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10, they have introduced a built-in AI within the operating system. We call it as an RHEL, okay, light speed, right? So this is what exactly that AI tool. It is a generative AI exactly. Okay. So how a chat GPT is going to work, how the Gemini is going to work in a similar way, this AI tool within the Linux operating system is going to. Now you'll ask me, sir, what is the difference here? Very simple. The difference here is like take an example, you're working in some project, assume that. Okay. So whenever you're working in some project, like you want to just want some use cases for user creation or patching or upgrading the OS, or maybe there's some service is not working properly. That may be a web service, or that might be a database service which is really not working properly, right? So what you want to do is very simple, you want to troubleshoot. You need some use cases. What you're doing, you're getting into third-party AIs and you are just searching for it. Is that right? But what Red Hat says is why you go for third-party AIs like ChatGPT or Gemini. So that's the reason, because if you go with this AI tools, what happens, whatever you're searching, the other people will come to know about it. Are you getting it? So this is what exactly. So that is the reason what happened is Red Hat has introduced its own AI tool so that whenever you have some issues with your operating system or services, when you want to perform some task like upgradation or patching or user creation or something else, within you can just give a prompt because it's a command line tool. You have to give a prompt. Whenever you give a prompt, it gives you an exact use case. It is going to give you what? Exact use case. This is the benefit of the AI tool within the Linux operating system. I hope you're getting it, right? So this is what exactly how it is going to go with, right? I'm just giving an overview because many times the people get confused, right? So this is what exactly. Now, before we discuss more about the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system, okay, let me give you a small introduction about how a Linux, okay, okay. So I will just give you, some information here about today's session. Okay. So because we are going to start everything from the scratch, because in our meeting there might be someone with they come here to learn Linux from the scratch. Maybe there are some people join the training who have already have the little bit knowledge about it. So keeping everyone in my mind, what I'll do is I'll just try to take you from the scratch. Right. So I will start something from what is Linux, from where the Linux came into an existence. Okay. Now Linux is an open source. What is mean by open source? You should know all these things. How many flavors of Linux are there? Okay, all these things you're going to, right? But remember one thing, when I'm talking about Linux, Linux is an operating system, right? Linux is an operating system. Even Windows is also an operating system, right? Windows is also an operating system, right? But like we are using Windows from a long time. Maybe if I want to give you some information, see, I have started using my Windows operating system from my 10th standard, right? Now the now generation, now whatever the generation we have, they are using something called, they are using this Windows operating system from their childhood. Getting my point? They always think that like Windows is very user friendly, very easy to learn, very easy to work. Then why have to switch to the Linux? What is the reason? Now, when you just interact with some people, they say that when you compare with Windows, Linux is very robust. Linux is very strong, right? So Windows get hacked by the hackers. Windows operating system gets hacked by the hackers, whereas Linux doesn't get hacked. Not nothing like that. I'm telling you how much robust is Windows. In the same way, Linux is also that much robust. How much robust is Linux? Whatever securities Linux is providing, the similar kind of security is also provided within the Windows also, right? This is all, discussion comes into the picture when two different platform guys will discuss, right? But if you talk of if you just talk to me, because I have started my career from Windows to Linux and Unix, I never discuss, I never argue that Windows is not a secure operating. Of course, everything is a secure. But what happens is the Windows has Windows is hacked by the people because there are many number of people who are who are trying to hack the Windows operating system. Now you will say that we don't have a hackers for Linux. Yes, we have. Take an example. We have 100 hackers who hacks the Windows operating system. 100 people, 100 hackers. But when it comes to the Linux, you might see only 15 to 20%. So this is what even Linux operating systems also get hacked. When the operating system get hacked, I will tell you, when you will not properly patch it up, when you will not properly update the operating system with security patches, vulnerability patches, error patches, it doesn't. Are you getting it? So this is very, very important thing, right? Now, okay, fine, the Windows or Linux is an operating system. Now, many times people have a question, what is operating system, boss? Operating system is nothing but it is a collection of softwares and it is a collection of programs, right? Even Windows is also same, Linux is also same, Mac is also same. But many times we will also have a question, why we need operating system? Why we need an operating system to access the hardware, right? So you might also have a question here, sir, can I directly interact with the hardware? No. Why? Because hardware communicates in machine readable language. Hardware communicates in machine readable language, that is called MRL, machine readable language. So basically this machine readable language, which we call as binary language, zeros and ones, this is something called binary language or machine readable language. And this kind of machine readable language is developed by like us people today, but it is not easy for everyone to understand. So what we need, basically, we need something called operating system. Why we need an operating system? Because on top of the operating system, we have something called user. So when user sends any instructions to the operating system, what operating system will do? When the user sends any instructions to the operating system, the instructions will be in human readable language. HRL it is called. Right? HRL is nothing but human readable language. Whenever we send an instruction to the operating system, what is this operating system is going to do? It is going to act as a converter. It is going to act as a converter. It is going to act as an interface. It is going to act as an intermediate between the user and hardware. So what is the job of operating system? It converts human readable to machine readable. So whenever it converts human readable to machine readable, the operating system converts from user readable to machine readable. This is what exactly happens. Right? So this is the job, core job of the operating system. Now you will say that this is the only job of the operating system. Not like that. Any instruction, any softwares, if you want to use it, okay, we need an operating system. Right? You want to install MS Office, you want to create an Word document, you want to create a presentation, you want to play a music, you want to play a movie, you want to play games, or you want to access internet. For everything, we need an operating system. Getting my point? So this is what exactly how it is going to work, right? So now you understood what is the core, what is the importance about the operating system. And whenever I talk about operating system, this operating system can be a Windows, Linux, Unix, Mac, even it can be an Android OS on your mobile. This also does the same thing. Getting it? So this is what exactly how the operating system is going to work. Now I hope you understood about the operating system. Now let us discuss about the Linux. So whenever I'm talking about Linux, okay, whenever I'm talking about Linux, many times people say that Linux is Unix-like operating system. Unix-like operating system. Linux is Unix-like operating system. This is what exactly the people say. Now the question here is it real that Linux came from the Unix? Is it real that Linux came from the Unix? If Linux came from the Unix, who brought it? Who designed it? Who developed it? Why they developed it? What is the reason? Okay, why they did not use directly Unix? Why they brought Linux? This is a question. So very simple. To understand all these things, what you have to do, you should first know about the Unix. You should know something about Unix, right? Okay. If you don't know about the Unix, you will not be able to understand the importance about the Linux. Why it is came, why it has come, it has came. Isn't it? So now for that reason, what we will do is we will try to discuss more about the Unix. First, we will discuss about Unix. So whenever I'm talking about the Unix here, very simple. Whenever I'm talking about the Unix here, whenever I'm talking about Unix, Unix is a computer operating system which is capable of handling activities for multi-user at the same time. So what is meant by multi-user? Like many people connecting to a machine or operating system is called multi. Getting it? So this is what exactly multi-user in a sense. Now, then apart from this, Unix was originated around 1969 at AT&T Bell Labs. Actually, if I want to tell you, not 1969, somewhere in 1960 only, the Unix was originated, Unix was developed. But what happened is Unix was developed somewhere in D language at that time. Getting it? And later on, what happened is after 1965 or 1966, this, there are people like Ken Thomas, Dennis Richards, there are many people around. There is a group of people exactly. They have started rewriting the Unix using a C language in 1968, 69. And what they did is they have introduced in 1969, but from 1970, the Unix started in use, right? This is what exactly the Unix came into an existence. And where they have designed it, they have designed somewhere in AT&T Bell Labs, which is located in USA. This is what exactly, right? Now, good, you have understood like how the Unix came into an existence. And Unix is a family of multitasking, right? Multi-user computer operating system developed in the mid of 19. I told you, right? This is what exactly. And there are various Unix variants here. Now you will ask me what is Unix variants here, right? Very simple. When I'm just talking about Unix, first of all, you should understand Unix was open source. What it is? Open source operating system. So when I say that Unix is an open source operating system, you should understand one thing. Why, when I say that open source, what do you think about open source? Can I treat open source as a free? Yes. Open source, Unix is an open source, it is a free. This is the second meaning of open source, remember. What is the first meaning of open source, right? The code is open to everyone. Code is open to everyone. Are you getting it? This code is open to you. This is what exactly. Now you will say that, sir, when I don't know, when I really don't know how to use the Unix, what I will do with the code, tell me. What I will do with the code. This is real, right? It's a real fact, right? What I will do with the code, not you and me. There are many people around the globe who are having a good knowledge of rewriting the code or developing the code. So what they will do, tell me, if they have to write the code. Or take an example. I'll give you a small example. Okay. Take an example. I'll take my example here. Assume that I am good in gaming, right? I play a lot of online games. Right? So when I'm just playing an online games, right? I have played a lot of games. Okay, from last 5, 6 years, 10 years, I'm playing a lot of games. Right? Suddenly I get one idea saying that why don't I have so much experience in gaming, playing games? I have a good knowledge on coding, right? So I have decided to develop a game. Right? I just spoke to my friends who are in the same interest. So they also said, let us develop the game. We should develop a realistic game. Right, then I said, okay, fine. So now we have decided to develop the game using something called Python, as you know. But whenever I'm developing a game using Python or a Java or some other language, but I need a base, right? I need a base. Base means operating system. Somewhere I have to write it. So one of my friends said that we will use something called Windows because we are familiar with Windows, right? We're familiar with Windows because I'm using the Windows or my friends are using Windows somewhere from their 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th standard. We feel like I'm confident with the Windows. Okay, fine. So we are writing the code and we are developing the modules. And what happened is there is one problem. What is the problem? So in order to run this game in a handshaking performance, we need a permission of Windows to edit some modules. Getting it? So what I'll do is I'll just talk to my Microsoft support and I'll say that this is what exactly we are developing. And they said that I'll just connect with my senior, let's talk. And they also said that Windows is not an open source, it is a purely an commercial and proprietary operating system of Microsoft. They never give you a chance to edit even single bit of codes, right? But still they arranged the meeting and I'll just give all my explanation and all this. They simply denied. They said that we are really helpless. We will not be able to provide you any kind of permission to edit a code, right? So will my development will go forward? No, right? Then immediately what I'll do, I will change my mind and I'll go with the Unix. Why? Because Unix is an open source. I can change the code. No need to take any permissions. No need to take any privileges from, any user, any company, right? So I'll take the Unix as my base here and I will develop the code, and to run this code, to run this game very smoothly, very realistically, I will try to make the changes inside the operating system. So this is advantages of open source, right? So Unix was open source. That's the reason there are companies like Solaris. There is a company like IBM. There is a company like HP. They have taken the open source code of Unix and they develop their own flavor of Unix operating systems, right? For their customer, for their companies, for their clients, for their vendors, whatever it is. So that is the reason we have many flavors of Unix variant, Unix, you know, various Unix variants we are having. And Linux is also a flavor of Unix, which is freely available. So Linux is also a flavor of Unix, which is freely available, right? But we will discuss how the Linux came into an exist. We will discuss, right? The several people can access the Unix computer at the same time, hence the Unix called multi-user system, right? So this is very, very important thing. Multiple people. Like if you go to an ATM, right? You will be accessing ATM somewhere from Hyderabad. Some of your friend is accessing the same bank ATM, same bank account using his ATM somewhere from Bangalore, somewhere from Chennai. At a time we do. This is something called multi-use, right? Then like we have a user can also run multiple programs at the same time. Hence it is called multitasking. What is multi-programming? Running multiple programs, MS Office, Acrobat Reader, you're using browser, you're playing some music. This is called multiple applications, programs, right? This is something called multitasking. Even right now you're using Windows 10 or Windows 11. This is also comes under multitasking only, right? So this is what exactly. Now the question here is, what makes Linux great, right? But before we discuss what makes Linux great, let us discuss how the Linux came into an existence, right? To understand this, first, what I will do is, in 1991, Linus Torvald is a person, he is a student in 1991. He developed a operating system with a name called Unix. So you will say that, you said that Linus Torvald is a student. How he got this much knowledge to develop an operating system called Unix? No, he doesn't have a knowledge to develop everything from the scratch. What he did, I will tell you. In 1991, he was a computer science student studying in a university of Pilsen, and and what he is doing is in 1991 he was studying his final semester of computer science, okay, engineering. So his college management has decided to do a project. Okay, they want a student to do a project, and what the college management has suggested is there is an open source Unix operating system with a name called Minix. Right? Minix is an open source operating system. right? So when I'm talking about Unix, Minix is one open source operating system. What they did is they recommended all the students to do a project on Minix. Everyone said okay. Even Linus Torvald was one of the person of that particular members. Everyone said okay. But the Linus Torvald was little typical. Why? He was having a lot of interest on the open source operating system. Now you will ask me how he got that much interest, because his grandfather was a part of open source Unix project. That is the reason he was giving, okay, his grandfather was giving him lot of knowledge on open source. He was always telling the Linus Torvalds saying that the future is, entire future is dependent on open source. So that's the way like this Linus Torvald has a lot of awareness, lot of idea and knowledge about the open source. Then what he did, he was doing his project on Linux. Then later, he took 30 to 40 days time. He completed a project. Then he was comparing this Linux with other flavors of Unix, right? IBM AIX, HP Unix, Solaris, so many operating systems. He was comparing with this operating system. There is a lot of technology gap, you know. There is a lot of technology gap. Now the question here is, the Linus Torvalds was thinking, why this technology gap? Why not everyone provide a all, I mean, technology into all the operating system? You can't go to the companies, right? You can't ask. So what he did is very simple. What he did is very simple. He, okay, decided to develop an operating system. He have decided to develop an operating system. So when he decided to develop an operating system, he took the source of Minix. He took the source of Minix and started developing it. Now you will ask me, sir, what he developed? Yes, what he developed. So very simple here. He know the coding. He know the coding. What he did, he used the coding. He knows something called Java. He knows something called C, C++, something, you know. He started writing a coding and he developed a game for the Minix. He developed a calendar for Minix. He developed something called browser for Minix, like this he developed. And what he did, he integrated all these apps with the Minix. Are you getting it? This is what happened. That he found that there is no calculator in the Minix. He have written a code for the calculator app and he integrated with the Minix. This is what he did it. So once he developed it, and then later what he did is he took around 6 to 8 months time to develop all the apps and integrated with the Minix. And he don't want all this development should go with the same name. So finally, what he did, you know, he have given his name only, that is called Linus. Okay, later it got renamed as Linux. That is a different story, right? So this is what exactly the Linux came into an existence. And remember, Linux is a combination of what? GNU plus Unix kernel. GNU plus Unix kernel. So you'll ask me, what is GNU? GNU stands for Generally Not Unix Application. Okay, plus Unix kernel together is called what? Linux. Is it clear? Understood? So this is what exactly. And remember, and Linus Torvald has written a program specifically for hardware he was using and independent of operating system. So you'll ask me, what is this boss? See, when we go at 20 years back or 25 years back, when we were using Unix, it will run only on the proprietary hardware. Okay. So you'll ask me, what is mean by proprietary hardware? We have iPhone, right? We have iPhone. iPhone runs with iOS only. Can we install Android OS on the iPhone? It doesn't work because it is designed only for iPhone only. Unix is also something like, if you want to run this Unix operating system, you should have that vendor's proprietary hardware. So now you'll say, what's the problem, sir? It's very expensive. That's the reason what Linus Torvald has done is he made the changes to the code of Linux to make sure that it should not have dependent on the hardware, independent of hardware here, operating system. So this was a processor 80386. You know what is this 80386? It is nothing but the Intel processor. It is nothing but the Intel processor. Remember, this is what exactly is. And then develop the OS done with the Unix GC, GNU C compiler I told you, right? Reserve the Linux kernel and this is what exactly the constant growth throughout its history. And then it is a combination of GNU application. I told you what is GNU. Generally not Unix application plus Unix kernel. This is what exactly. Right? And now we are going to learn, we're going to see something about what makes Linux great. Right? Many times people ask you. There are many different answers to the questions, what makes Linux great? So we are going to see Linux is an open source. Already we discussed what is open source. Second things, Linux provide easy access to the powerful and scriptable command line interface, right? So basically Linux also has very good GUI that is called graphic user interface, but still we have a GUI that is called graphic user interface. 90% of environment they use CLI because it is safe and secure. Then Linux is a modular operating system that allows you to easily replace or remove the components. This is what exactly this all features makes Linux as a great operating system. And when we talk about open source, this is what exactly open source benefits. Keeps the cost down, improves the quality, delivers the business agility, and mitigating the business risk. This is what exactly the advantages here. Right? So we have discussed all these points. Now, what should you learn about Linux? Right? So basically, why should you learn Linux? Many times people have a question. Sir, I want to learn AWS. So I recommend them to learn Linux. Sir, why I have to learn Linux before the AWS cloud or Azure or GCP? Sir, I want to learn database. Someone will recommend learn Linux first. Why I have to learn Linux before learning the database? This kind of questions will be raised. So very simple here. Linux is a critical technology for IT professional to understand. Okay, not only IT professional, even for fresh. Even who are non-IT background also, who are willing to get into the IT or who are already working in IT, everyone have to learn Linux. Now, what is the reason? Because everything is running on Linux. You will say everything is running on Linux, or everything is running on the Linux, or everything is developed on the Linux. I'll give you one example. You know VMware, right? It's VMware is a company which provides virtualization products, right? So this VMware was initially developed based on the Linux. Are you getting it? And have you heard about software storages? Even that is developed based on the Linux. Even containers, big data, they're all technologies developed based on the Linux. So that is the reason Linux is a critical technology. Everyone have to learn, right? So when I say that everyone have to learn, some people learn just basics, right? See, when you're learning Linux, you have to learn every concept of the Linux. That will help a lot in other technologies. Getting it? So this is what exactly how it's going to go with. Then Linux is in widespread use. If you use the internet at all, you are probably already interacting with the Linux system in your daily life. We'll say how. Daily I'll use google.com, daily I'll use Yahoo, daily I will use Rediff, daily I'll do a lot of search and I'll interact with so many websites and e-commerce sites, right? So how come I'm interacting with the Linux? Because all these services are running from the Linux operating system only. If you talk about websites are running from the Linux. If you talk about e-commerce sites running from the Linux. So whenever you are doing buy and sell, that means you are indirectly interacting with the Linux. This is what it is. Right? Many times you will have a question. Websites are running on the Linux. Okay, yes, websites are running on the Linux. How you will come to know about it? I can show you that. So do one thing, simple thing here. Just go to something called GoDaddy. You know what is GoDaddy? So GoDaddy is a company. They provide, domains and websites, hosting the websites. Now assume that when I go with hosting here, now you can see web hosting when I just go for web hosting. When I just go with the web hosting here, it gives you information whether you want to go for the web hosting. Not here exactly. 1 minute. Virtual cloud hosting for WordPress, right? So hosting a WordPress basic hosting. Okay, I'll just try to click on buy. Let me show you. It will ask you whether you want to host this on Windows based or Linux based. This is a question it will ask you. I don't know why it is not giving us. So basically, this is the way how you're going to know about it. More working options. So somewhere it is. Okay. I can show you a little later. Okay. But this is what exactly. So you will get an information something about Linux hosting and Windows hosting. Many people they use Linux hosting on them. Hearing it? And Linux manages something called point in sale system. Have you heard about this point in sale systems? When you go to the restaurants, when you go to something called hotels, they have a billing machine, right? That is called point of sale system. Even they have developed with the help of Linux. The whole stock markets are running on the Linux. Powers the smart TVs, in-flight entertainment systems, and I'm telling you, right, 500 supercomputers are running based on the Linux. So now you should understand the power of Linux, yeah, right? So, however, Linux is used much more than the world. Linux provides foundation technologies which covers what? Cloud revolution, container-based microservice application, software-based storage technology, big data. This is what exactly it consists of. Getting it? So this is what exactly. And you can see the major differences between Linux and Windows. So Linux was introduced somewhere in 1991. Windows was developed somewhere in 1985. But in 1985, Windows was not there. Basically, Windows, it was DOS. It was DOS. You know what is DOS? A black screen with white letters. This is what. Yeah, so this is a standardly open source and web server 90%, 70% of share. This is a type of file system. Cost is low, hardware, secure, 60 to 60 to 100 viruses listed here. Linux over. But whereas when it comes to Windows, 60,000 viruses, they are simply saying that insecure. Right? This is what exactly. But of course, if it is insecure, no one will use it, right? So Windows is also secure. You have to just think like that. And this is a comparison between Windows and Linux here. There is a company with the name called Statistica who have just made a survey, and they have come to know that when you compare with Windows, 38%. And remember this, actually this is done by w3techs.com somewhere in 2023, but right now it is 26, almost 3 years, right? So maybe this ratio has gone up more than 55%, I think, right? So this is what, maybe Windows also it might go, maybe 25, 30, 35% it might go up. So this is what exactly it goes, right? So Linux market is very high when it comes to the market share here. Then why Red Hat? Because more than 90% of, Fortune 500 companies around the globe currently rely on Red Hat Linux. The product lines, this is what exactly the product line they are going to give it. Linux operating system, Linux platform, JBoss middleware, virtualization, cloud computing, storage. This is all happened, right? And Linux distributions. Yeah, you have to know Linux distributions very well because many people they work with Linux without understanding the distribution, right? So when you go to the distribution, instead of this, I'll try to show you the distributions here. So go to the Google and put list of Linux flavors, right? So it takes you to the Wikipedia here. When you get into the Wikipedia, you will see there will be an image. Do you see there is an image here? When you click on this, right? When you click on this, you can see Slackware Linux, Debian Linux, You will come down here, you will also see Red Hat. So when you talk about Red Hat, there are many flavors inside the Red Hat. Can you see this? This is what exactly how it's going to go. But there are many flavors, even in DBN also, even in Slackware also, there are many flavors. I will say that there are hundreds of flavors we have. The development is started from 1992, still it is going on 2026. Can you see this? I will say this many flavors. So can I use these flavors? Why not? 100% you can use them. But remember, they are all open source. Okay, they are not commercial. Now you will say, what's the problem, sir? If it is open source, best only, right? I'm saving a lot of money to my company, right? Because it is free of cost. The problem is with open source, I will tell you. Take an example, your company says that we want to launch a project. And then what you did, they asked you to give a presentation. And what they said there, they said that they don't have a budget right now to buy the operating system. Then you said that we will go with an open source operating system. That's well and fine. Then you have taken one open source operating system, you deployed a project, it was went on fine, and people appreciated you getting it. And for if initially they said that it is a testing project, slowly it has become a production, right? At that time, production was it was very small because only 10 to 15 users used to connect. It is manageable, not a problem. Then what happened is after that, I got some new good opportunities. I left the company. I left the project in my place. Take an example, UK. Then you also manage the things as usually what I did. Then later on, after 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, like you got some issue and you are putting your all efforts to fix the issue, but it is not fixing. Then you went into the Google, you searched and you did a lot of research, you contact with the seniors, but no solution. Then finally you contacted the vendor because vendor has developed it, right? You went to go to the vendor and you call them, you just talk to them, you appreciate it, your operating system is well, but right now we are facing this issue. Can I be resolved? They said that send me the details. You send them and they verified it and they say that this is very unique problem that you're facing. Then you need to wait some time to resolve it. So you'll ask me how much time? Do you need 1, 2 days? No, they say that they need 6 months to 8 months time. Why? Because they don't have a people to work on it. Because it's open source, right? So this is what exactly. So now your customer and clients will wait? Will your business will wait, which is running on this particular machine, operating system? No, right? It doesn't wait. So now tell me how. So that is the reason when it comes to real-time project, you should not use open source operating system because it is going to impact your business. It is going to impact your business. Are you getting that? So this is very, very important thing for us. So that is the reason what we have to do is we have to go for commercial operating system only. So you'll say that if I go for commercial operating system, I have to pay to the vendor, right? Okay, you're paying to the vendor, but if you're using open source operating system, in case if there is any issue, there will be a business loss, business impact, customer reputation will go down, business will come down, right? So compared to that, this is very big loss, right? So that's the reason it is always recommended to go for commercial operating system. Understanding, right? So this is what exactly. Is there any doubt here? Any question? Yes, Vijay. Can you hear me right? And now when it comes to the RHEL 10, so I'll just take only one slide of RHEL 10, the rest we will discuss tomorrow, right? The core pillar of RHEL 10, RHEL. What is RHEL stands for? Red Hat Enterprise Linux, it is called. Okay, 10 is a version. So basically when it comes to the core pillars of RHEL 10 is, one is AI powered operations and image mode operating OS and post quantum security. These are the three core important features of the Red Hat 10, right? So as we discussed initially, right, AI is introduced somewhere in Red Hat 10. So when I just talk about AI, what is the AI called in Red Hat? Red Hat Lightspeed we call. What we call? Red Hat Lightspeed, right? It is nothing but a Gen AI. Gen is nothing but generative AI, it is called. This is what exactly. And we have image mode OS. You'll ask me, what is this image mode OS? Very simple. You can configure bootable container images using this particular feature. And post-quantum security is nothing but this is a security feature that is being provided for encrypting the DNS safeguard enterprise data against the next generation quantum threats. This is what exactly the importance about the RHEL 10. Right? So I'll not take much detail into it. Right? This is what exactly today's demo. Okay. So if you have any questions and doubts, you can ask me.
Hi, Bala.
Yes, sir. Hi, Vijay. Tell me.
No, actually, you said that Linux is open source, right? So in that case, because Windows is and it's not that open source, but it's less security and all this, right? But only Linux is having more security and open source. Is there any reason for it, or?
No, see, inside the Linux, you have a firewall in Windows. You have a
Yeah.
firewall in Windows. Same firewall is there inside Linux also.
Okay.
Right? The reason here is people don't update their Windows operating system properly. See, right now I'm using Windows 11 here on my laptop. It's a genuine OS which came with my laptop. I frequently update it. It is secure.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? There are many people, what they do, they use pirated copy of Windows operating system and that never gets updated. It has a bug, it has an error. Then what hacker will do, tell me, if it is connected on the internet, public network, the hackers try to hack, he scans your machine, he finds the vulnerability. Then using that vulnerability, he gets into the machine. Are you getting it? This is what happened. Now you will ask me, for Linux also same thing, right? Yes, for Linux also same thing. If you don't update operating system properly, then it creates a vulnerability. It creates errors. It creates bugs, right? Then based on using this, the hacker gets into your machine. Are you getting it? But compared to Windows, Linux is more secure. Why? Because inside the Linux, there is one security called SC Linux. You'll ask me, what is SC Linux? SC stands for Security Enhanced Linux. Right? So what is the use of this Security Enhanced Linux is, it's a very robust security. Okay. Until, it has some Boolean values. It has some context. If the user is trying to access some data, some services, if a context did not match, even the Boolean values did not match, it denies the user to access the program. Understanding? If it denies to access the program, will the hacker will be able to hack the machine? No, right? It is not possible. So that is the reason Linux is more secure. Clear? So multi-level securities are available inside the Linux. Understanding, right? Any doubts, any questions here? Let me know.
Yeah, this post-quantum security, is it quantum computing or it's a different thing, right?
It's not a quantum computer. They have taken the word called quantum,
Okay.
but it is not quantum.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what exactly. So this is all about. Any other questions you can ask me? Otherwise, we will. Any other questions? So fine then, we will meet tomorrow same time. I'll call you, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining. Thank you.